Joining us on the phone to talk about today's trading is Vikas Kawatra, who's head of institutional banking for Kim Eng Securities. Mr. Kawatra, thank you very much for joining us today. This trading, when it gets underway today, what are we looking at? A big sell-off, simply a volatile session? What do you expect?
Yeah, we expect some sell-off, but it may not be huge, considering the foreigners have sold almost $1.5 billion worth last 2-3 weeks. On our marketing trip last week, when we were discussing with many foreigners, they're all looking for opportunity to buy on weakness. So that kind of tells me the retail who have been hugely negative hugely positive on some solution would be reached, but I don't think they had expected this kind of a solution where so many lives have been lost and so many buildings have been burned. So I expect some weakness, as we assess the economic damage, that will determine where do we go from here.
I mean, for the 2 days that the stock exchange was closed, what were your clients telling you? Were was the phones ringing off the hook saying, look, yeah, when this market opens, you're going to have to move very, very fast?
Yeah, exactly. We do see some kind of selling in the beginning, but considering domestic funds and the retail have been buyer for last 3-4 weeks or so, and they are betting that with this solution, the things should look up. So I think a 4 to 5% of a drop, and then maybe some volatility over the week.
Would that imply also some heavy demand for index futures to short the market, to hedge against what's going on?
Exactly. I guess some of the hedge funds and speculators may be shorting this index.
Any particular sectors which are likely to be targeted today, either as a sell-off or as a place where bargains are to be found?
I would say it's too early to look for bargains. Depends on how severe the index drop is. But the sectors to avoid would be property and banks primarily, and local consumption stocks.
And tourism stocks?
Sorry?
And tourism stocks? I mean, one has to presume that
tourism,
we know that arrival...
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Tourism stocks as well. They are pretty obvious sector to sell.
Yeah. These protests were tumultuous, they were deadly, they were the worst in decades, we know all of that, but the challenge ahead is still whether the government survives or not in its current form. If it doesn't survive, does the next government face protests again? To some extent, all of this was baked into the market up to this point, but have things changed fundamentally, do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Nothing much has fundamentally changed, but the riots were quite deadly, and that shows the gravity of the situation. And it also makes us more fearful that if either of the groups, whether the yellow shirts or the red shirts, they regroup, the damages can be a lot more. It appeared these guys are very well prepared to cause this damage. So if the both sides, the red as well as the yellow, are well prepared now to anticipate this kind of situation, I fear the attacks could be more deadlier.
Mr. Kawatra, thank you very much indeed for your time. Vikas Kawatra, Kim Eng Securities, head of institutional banking, joining me there.